There's more to imagine when you listen. So let your imagination soar with Audible. Audible has audio titles from every genre that will inspire you to imagine new worlds, possibilities, and ways of thinking. As an Audible member, you get to choose one title a month to keep from their entire catalog. Enjoy an exciting reawakening of a beloved classic with the Audible original David Copperfield by Charles Dickens, produced by Academy Award-winning director Sam Mendes, starring Ncuti Gatwa, Helena Bonham Carter, and Theo James. This adaptation breathes new life into a familiar tale. New members can try Audible free for 30 days. Visit audible.com/imagine or text IMAGINE to 500-500. That's audible.com/imagine or text IMAGINE to 500-500.
Are you struggling to close deals? Cold outreach is wasting the time of both the buyer and seller at every stage, especially when sellers are using shallow and outdated data. Your organization can overcome these challenges with technology that translates comprehensive, high-quality buyer data into real-time insights. These deeper insights empower sales reps and teams to adopt the habits of top performers, which leads to better outcomes, like more pipeline, higher win rates, and larger deals. We call this deep sales. And we've built the first deep sales platform with the next generation of LinkedIn Sales Navigator. Right now, you can try LinkedIn Sales Navigator and get a 60-day free trial at linkedin.com/trial. That's linkedin.com/trial for a 60-day free trial. Let LinkedIn Sales Navigator help you sell like a superstar today. Just go to linkedin.com/trial and get started.
Welcome.
Oh, hello.
Oh, hello.
Oh, is this?
You were doing voices today.
Oh,
We're going to do the whole show like this.
I didn't know.
Karen,
Hello.
are you in on this?
Hello.
So no. Did everybody have a good weekend?
Yeah.
Did your kids' school have a 4-day weekend or 3-day weekend?
3.
Okay, we had 4,
Yes.
which was very exciting.
That is nice.
Yes, because it was Oliver's birthday yesterday. So
man.
he always has like a 4-day weekend for his birthday. So it was awesome.
Hard partying birthday.
Yeah.
Mr. 17.
Yeah.
He's only 17. He's almost legal.
Okay, this is my son. Gross. To vote, you mean, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Duh.
Right.
Does he feel like the attention's taken off him because there's 2 holidays that happen?
Labor Day.
Birth
What's
week?
the other holiday?
I can't really remember.
Yeah, I'm
Is
like,
there another holiday
is there
that I
some-
missed?
Something big happened early to mid-September.
Oh.
I thought he meant like Friday was a holiday. I
No,
was like,
he's
what?
talking. He is very jealous of the towers.
They
always get the
stole
biggest
my
cakes.
thunder.
They stole his exactly. We surprised him. We told him we were taking him out to dinner, but it was really his friends who were there at the dinner. So we invited 5 of his pals to a restaurant, and we surprised him, and we took off.
Did
So
he
it was
love
just
that?
them. Yes, he loved it.
That's
He
really
was
cool.
really surprised. Yeah,
Yeah, that's really fun.
it was really cool, and he was just beaming when he got home. He was all excited.
Aw.
Yeah.
And then you and Jimmy like sat at a table close by and watched.
Well, the waitress was like what is it? Maitre d' was like, so where do you guys want to sit? We're like, no, we're going.
Yes.
We just got cheap Mexican food. Like we had to get dressed up to pretend we were going.
Yes,
Like, it
yes.
was so. And then Jimmy was like, well, did you make a reservation? And I was like, oh, let me go do that. Like I'd already made the reservation. I had to
Yes.
go in my room and go in the other room and pretend like I was on the. I don't know why he asked me to do that, but
Hilarious.
We were just trying to keep it up.
Commit.
And then I told Oliver that we had to go on Sunday instead of Monday because Monday was his actual birthday.
Yes.
Because restaurants are closed on Labor Day. And I knew he would believe me because he just doesn't
He's
know
not gonna
stuff.
check into that.
Yeah. So, yeah, that was funny. And then, so yesterday, we didn't really have anything planned because we had done all this stuff, which was his actual birthday. So we went to play mini golf, which was boiling hot, but it was still fun. But I thought of you guys because, you know, they have music playing when you play mini golf. And
Okay. Yeah.
they had, birds do it, bees do it. Mm-hmm. And one of the lines is electric eels do it.
No.
And I just looked it up to make sure I heard it right.
Yes.
And I did.
That's wild.
I swear to God, I'm gonna.
Electric eels do it.
It says, okay. It says it's by Cole Porter, and it says,
Just playing songs for the kids at that.
yeah, really got their fingers on the pulse. It was weird because usually it's like really obnoxious top 40. Electric eels, I might add, do it. Though it shocks them, I know. Why ask if I shad do it? Waiter, bring me shad roe.
What?
It's so specific.
Yeah.
I
He had to find something that rhymes.
do you think you can eat roe from electric eels? Ugh.
I don't want to.
I don't want to eat roe at all.
No, I don't
Caviar.
either.
It's the whole idea. This
I
is
know.
nauseating to me. In shallow shoals, English souls do it. This is actually pretty clever lyrics.
Yes.
Anyway, so that was exciting.
That's what a good callback to an episode.
I know, right?
And I wish he would have like tossed into the rhyme like electric eels, which aren't actually eels, but are fish do it.
Yeah, right.
That would have been fun.
Cole Porter loves us.
He
He
does.
would have
Biggest
loved us.
fan.
He would have loved us.
Would have, yeah, had he known.
What did you do? Anything? Did you see anything? Did you do anything?
We went to June Lake.
Oh, you did.
And
nice.
Yeah, it was nice.
Any major catastrophes?
No.
You're kidding.
I
No
know.
falling into a lake or
No injuries.
Amazing.
No major catastrophes. And yeah, it's kind of incredible. Like everybody got along.
whoa.
The kids all played together and the adults were kind of left alone.
Oh, you went with another family?
Went with another family and we took Benji's best friend. So there was an equal amount of boys in it. So 2 boys and 2 girls.
We know who the best friend.
Yes.
So they hold hands.
Probably a lot. They
So sweet.
They their favorite thing to do was both nights they went crawdaddy hunting
Okay.
and caught crawdaddies and
Okay.
cooked them and ate them.
Are they good? Or you didn't eat them?
I didn't eat them. I had had them the last trip and was like, yes,
You're like, I'm good.
I had it. It's
Yeah.
fine. It's not something I need to eat like on a regular basis. It's
Right.
like kind of like like lobster that doesn't taste as good.
Oh.
And it's tiny. Like you have to really
Yeah, I was
work
gonna say,
for it.
aren't they really small? And then
They're,
you got
they're decent size. You know, they're
like crab size.
yeah, decent size, you
Okay.
know. But no thank you.
Okay.
I'm good.
Yeah.
But that was, all they were looking forward to all day long was when night could come so they could go out at night and get in that.
He found another kid, another 12-year-old who's into this. Like it's so. Oh,
Yeah.
he's not so much
I don't
into it.
think
He just kind of goes along for the
I
ride.
think he wouldn't on his own be like,
Yeah, yeah.
I want to do this.
Right.
But he's found there is joy in it.
So sweet.
Benji convinced him.
So sweet.
But I am surprised by how many boys he has found who like love to cook. Like he has multiple friends who like love to cook.
That is very surprising to me.
Like 3 or 4 of his friends also not just like cook, but are like really good at cooking. Like one of his friends came over and Benji was making I think steak and his friend was like, I'll make a cucumber salad. And made like a really like he's like, do you have sesame oil? And I was like, yeah.
you serious?
He's like, do you have rice vinegar? And I was like, yes. And he's like, do you have
Sounds really
soy
good.
sauce? And he's like getting all these ingredients out. Makes this. He's like, I need like, do you have like a mandolin slicer? And I was like, I don't. He's like, all right, that's fine. I can make it work. And he's like,
I can make it work.
and he's like slicing the cucumbers really thin. He's like, all right, I've got to soak.
This actually sounds really good. I think I'm going to make this tonight.
It is really good. It's like an Asian cucumber
Yeah,
salad.
I love it. I love that. All those.
Yeah.
All those
All the
flavors
things?
you're saying.
Yes.
I love all of that.
So good. So he's like marinates the cucumbers. He's like, all right, now first he soaks it in like salt and water, and then he rinses all that off, and then he marinates it in the sauce.
How do they know this shit?
I mean,
Just YouTube?
his mom's a really good cook.
Oh, okay.
Mandy went to the cat hotel.
Okay.
Where he hangs out with the Foo Fighters cats. Do you know this?
What? So do the cats, being proper rock star legacy, do they throw TVs out the window of the cat hotel?
It's funny that you mentioned that.
Oh boy.
I thought I told you guys this already.
No.
So, Mandy stays at a cat hotel, which is not as fancy as it sounds for my cat.
Right.
It's like, when you go to... You've taken Oliver to those like trampoline parks.
Oh, yeah.
And they're always in some industrial area where
Yes.
it's like these big like warehouse style buildings.
Yep.
That's kind of where this cat like the cat
Oh,
hotel is.
okay.
It's like Van Nuys or somewhere like that.
Ew, Garen.
Exactly.
I know you don't think you live in Van Nuys, but
Sherman Oaks.
yeah.
So it's like that. I got the recommendation from a friend, like a parent friend, and they were like, yeah, it's nice. You know, the cats are in these big enclosures. They're not like trapped, and this is, I think, so fun. They have birds in cages that they wheel around to the cats. So the cats are like entertained by the birds. They can't like bat at the
It's like a
birds or
strip
anything.
club for
Yes.
cats. Like here, there's a buffet, and then you get to watch the birds, and you get all excited.
And the cats, they can see each other too, but they're not like tormenting each other.
Okay.
It's pretty, we did a whole tour, and it's very, all the cats look very relaxed, you know.
Okay.
And then there's some rooms that the cats can have access to outside space, which
Okay.
I got that for Mandy the first time because he loves to be outdoors too. This time I couldn't because it was holiday weekend. But as we were going the tour, the woman goes, do you want to see our VIP rooms? And I was like, yeah, definitely I do. So she goes, okay, so, and they're more indoor, and the room has this giant screen TV, a big couch, and then this wheel of like an exercise wheel that cats can run on. It's like a big round wheel. So they can get their exercise, I guess. And I look in, and there are two cats, and they're beautiful. One's like a big orange cat that's like long haired, and the other one's one of those, I don't know the name of them, but they look kind of sphinxy. They kind of look like wild, almost like leopardy cats.
Okay.
You
Like
know.
bobcats?
I know what you're talking about.
Not quite, but they're definitely not like a domestic short hair. They're
Okay.
something you have to pay for.
Okay.
She goes, do you know Dave Grohl from the Foo Fighters? And I was like, yeah, I do. Not personally, but
Right.
of course. Those are his cats. And when they stay here all the time, and they always get the VIP room. I was like,
I don't even know what to think of this.
I mean-
I have so many conflicting thoughts. Like, I don't know. It just seems like
it's hilarious to me.
it's hilarious, but they need a television.
Right? Like in like a special room that is closed off from all the other people. Like,
I mean, they
and all
can't-
the other they can't see the other cats. Like,
They expect their cats to be treated the way they're treated.
but it's also, when I was thinking about it, I was like, this feels like something an assistant does.
Oh,
Do you know what I mean?
Yes,
Like, he probably doesn't even know that his cats
He doesn't
are
know
in-
where. He doesn't know he has cats.
I know, but like, because
Right.
it's like, for one, he definitely doesn't give VIP cat room energy to me.
Yeah, but you know, rich people are weird.
They are weird.
All right. Are you ready to learn how to survive getting high for the first time?
Oh my God, yes.
I know it's too late for the people in this room,
It
but
definitely is.
I thought, you know what? There's the first time for everything. And
There are many listeners who probably haven't gotten high before.
yes. And this is, I'm opening with this because this is something I'd always heard and experienced and wasn't sure if it was true. So, as you may have heard, it's surprisingly common to not actually get high the first time you try marijuana. Even more surprising is that no one is quite sure why. So, did you get high the first time you tried it?
Yes.
You did?
Yes.
Did you, Garen?
I don't know. It may have been one of those situations like, I'm not high. Come on, guys.
Right.
I'm not high. And then I'm in the stratosphere and don't even realize it.
Okay.
I think that might be more common than people not getting.
Well, I did not.
Okay.
I did not. Maybe I wasn't inhaling right. Anyway, we're going to learn. There are some theories, so we're going to go over those theories.
I want to hear these theories. I'm so interested.
For starters, you probably didn't totally know what you were doing the first time. Even if you think you know exactly how to roll a joint, light it, and inhale just right, it still takes some practice to get it down. Well, I didn't roll it or anything.
I still don't know.
You
how
were
to do that.
you were doing a bong, right?
I was doing a bong. I was at the one party I went to in college, which was in Connecticut.
Ooh.
I'm not really sure. That's what I thought. It turns
Yes.
out Connecticut is not fancy. Like some
Parts-
parts
yeah,
of it are,
yeah.
but parts of it are not.
I believe that.
Yeah. I also didn't really have a lot of friends, so I don't even know how this happened that I was at a party. But anyway, that was the first time I tried it. And I was like, oh, well, it didn't work.
Okay.
Okay, so it's understandable that your first try wouldn't exactly be all that mind-blowing, but those beginner's mistakes don't necessarily account for everything. Some experts also think there's a sensitization period during which you won't feel high. This is what I thought. That's because THC, the psychoactive compound in cannabis, can cause your brain to increase its amount of cannabinoid receptors. You'll have to wait for your body to create enough receptors in order to feel high, which could take a couple of tries. That's what I had always heard, and that's what I thought it was.
I didn't know that.
Who knows? Finally, it's also possible that you were a little high, Garen, but the effects were subtle or you just didn't know what to expect. If you've never been high before, it's kind of impossible to know what it feels like, or even if you were slightly high, you might not have noticed, or maybe you just wrote it off as being hungry, tired, or drunk.
Oh, wow.
In reality, it's probably a combination of all these factors, your inexperience, your biology, and your unawareness that make it so hard to get high your first time. The good news is it only gets easier from there.
Yay!
So I'm trying to think if I had even been drunk at that point. I mean, I'd had a drink or two, but I don't think I had been drunk before that time. So I don't know. Okay. So I'm just going to tell you about who wrote this.
Yes, please.
To give you a little perspective. Jackie Bryant is a freelance writer who focuses on cannabis, food, travel, and other cultural topics. She's a regular contributor to Forbes, where she covers cannabis. She also writes a newsletter and hosts a podcast, both about cannabis culture.
Okay.
So she's in it.
She's an expert.
She's got her fingers in a lot of pies, and they all have pot in them. She's
pot pie?
Pot pie. That's what that's originally what it was.
That's what it actually is.
Yeah.
I've been making mine wrong.
And it's hard to get through that crust when you're high.
It really
right?
is.
You got to pound.
And you don't want to work hard when you're high. You're just like,
don't.
I want to sit back and be high.
Yeah. I do remember the time, I've only been high a few times, but one of the times I was high when I got paranoid and was like, this isn't for me.
Yeah.
I think this was the first time I was actually high. And we went back to my friend's house. We were in, I think it was the summer after college, or I definitely wasn't in high school. Anyway, we went back to her parents' house and we had cereal.
Yes.
And I was like, oh my God, this is the best cereal. I was like, I must be really high because this cereal is so good. And then I was like, oh, ding dong, it's full fat milk and like sugar cereal, which you never eat. That's why it's so good. It's not because you're high. You just don't normally eat whatever chocolate fucking cereal with whole milk.
Now, wait, did you say all that out loud? Because then you were high.
No. It was only afterwards the next day that I was like, oh, you don't eat that kind of stuff. That's why you probably thought it was so good. I wanted something positive to happen from the pot and not just me feeling paranoid.
Yeah.
So
that happens.
Yeah. Okay, a note about legality.
Yes.
Cannabis isn't legal everywhere, though many U.S. states have legalized it for medical use, recreational purposes, or both. It's best not to take a chance and know the laws in your state. If you live outside the United States, you may be subject to different laws. Like, I think even in New York, I don't think it's legal yet.
No?
I think it's legal for medical, but I don't think it's recreational.
They haven't come to our side.
Mm-mm. When it comes to cannabis, discussions of being high are steeped in binaries. Products are described as being simply intoxicating or not. This comes up a lot when talking about CBD versus THC. Same goes for whether something is psychoactive. Note, this distinction is usually incorrectly applied. All cannabinoids technically have psychoactive effects, which makes sense because you're not just mellow. I mean, you might experience, thinking something's there that's not there, and it's it's not LSD, but it doesn't mean it doesn't have. Okay.
And some people aren't mellow when they're high.
Right.
Some people are assholes.
Oh, is that? Have you experienced that?
Yeah, I've been around.
Have you been that?
I don't think I have.
You're such an asshole when you're high, Chris.
I just call people names.
But you've been around people who are.
Yeah. Who I was like, I don't like your personality when you're high. You're kind of an asshole.
What are you, Garen? Mellow? Even more mellower than
if you can believe it.
That's why you need to get high so you can really chill, right? So you can bring this down a little bit.
Yeah, it's
because this intensity,
I'm a raging monster if I'm not high. I'm just I like to get high to the point where I'm like giggly.
Oh, okay.
But it doesn't happen often. I haven't found the right whatever because I like to
THC mismanagement.
Yeah.
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 Same goes for whether. I already read that. In reality, cannabis's effects fall along a spectrum. How you'll feel those effects depends on a lot of things, including the product you're using, your surroundings, and your emotional state that day. This can be a little nerve-wracking if you're new to cannabis, but there's room to lean into the subjectivity. Often binaries exist because they're comfortable. They offer clear guidelines and remove any confusion. In reality, though, nothing is that simple, and talking in binaries creates a false security. It's no different when it comes to cannabis. Before your cannabis experience, mentally prepare yourself to explore these gray areas. Let go of any expectations. Be open to a range of possible outcomes. Okay, so take strains with a grain of salt. Speaking of binaries, there's the issue of cannabis strains or cultivars.
Cultivars.
Never heard of that. These are often described as being an indica. Am I saying that right?
Indica.
Or sativa. Mm-hmm. Okay. This is basically shorthand for the former indica causing a euphoric body high, and the latter, sativa, producing a more energetic and cerebral high, among other effects. These descriptions aren't necessarily false, but they're completely subjective. So she's saying, like, this is what they say it is, but that doesn't necessarily mean that's going to be your
That's how
experience.
it's going to affect you.
Is that what you guys have experienced?
Yeah.
That indica is more a body high. What does that body high mean? Just like you're relaxed and comfortable?
And indica, people usually say indicouch because it just
it makes you more relaxed. I
Yeah.
usually, whenever I've gotten, strains of cannabis from the dispensary that I go to,
Yeah.
I'll get the indica.
That's the one where you were watching TV and you like couldn't move? That's the one, right?
I had too much. But because I don't want to be I'm not getting it because I want to be energized.
Right.
You know, like I'm not trying to be like, I want to have a conversation for 2 hours. I'm not trying to feel like I'm on cocaine.
Right.
I mean, I don't want to feel super high and up. Like I want to decrease my pain, feel better, feel like have the wine, half a glass of wine feeling.
Yes.
Which I think is the idea that indica is supposed to create.
Okay. Got it. All right. Additionally, categorizing cannabis by just these two terms completely misses a wide spectrum of other effects caused by different factors, including flavonoids and terpenes. I forgot to look up what that is, so you do that. Rather than just going for it, I meant to.
But doesn't that also have to do with the strains of the plant too? Because there's different marijuana plants, and so it's kind of complicated because when you go into the dispensary, it's like you're looking at the side of the box or the packaging, and it's like all these different levels of information because it's also not just the information of it's the THC information, and the what am I trying to say? The CBD. I was like CBC.
They tell
CBD.
you how much is in each thing.
It'll have numbers, so it'll be like 20 CBD to 1 THC, or to 2, on the dose. But it is a little bit complicated if you don't know the language.
Yeah.
And the nice thing about a dispensary is that the people that work there really know their stuff.
Not about anything else, but this.
Oh no,
not
about
on.
No,
right.
They're their PhD in THC.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. Rather than just going for an indica or a sativa, think about how you want to feel: energetic and creative, relaxed and introspective. Are there therapeutic effects you're looking for, like pain relief or appetite stimulation?
Do you want to think you don't have legs?
That's what Christine did. Based off this information, cannabis specialists or dispensary staff can help you choose the best product. Consider edibles, but start small. Edibles may be a good place to start for those who don't want to go into the nuances of the plant or deal with the health effects of smoking. You'll want to be mindful of the type and dose, though. Generally, edibles made with live resin tend to produce stronger effects. Edibles metabolize in the liver rather than in the bloodstream, so they produce a longer lasting high that could result in psychedelic effects at higher doses, like your legs melting.
Yes.
For your first time, aim for a dose of 5 milligrams or less. 2.5 milligrams would be ideal. That's what you do, right? Or less.
Less, yeah. I usually do like 1.5 to 2.
Okay. What do you do, Karen? You're a heavyweight now.
He does more than that. I know that.
No, yeah,
Just eat them with a spoon.
That stuff, I'm a little bit wary about that because I know how you don't know how you're going to react to it. So I've done 25, I think.
Oh.
But I'm all fat. Like, there's no muscle in this body.
But it's not your blood. Does that matter?
Does that?
That's why I was.
Well, it says metabolic. I don't know.
Every time I'm stoned and I don't think I'm stoned, I was like, well, it's because I'm all fat. There's no muscle, so it's just getting absorbed by fat. That's probably meaningless.
I don't know. It says your liver,
nothing.
not your blood. So I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know if it has to do with like
It
fat
probably
cells.
doesn't. It's just something that's funny to me that it just. So
But are you a smoker?
I do all of it.
You do all of it.
I inject it. I smoke.
I inject it.
No,
I inject it between my toes. We just find out he's not even doing. He's doing meth.
Heroin. Yeah. He just think he calls
this whole
it all
time he's
pot.
been smoking crack and he thinks he's doing marijuana. He's like, well, I lost my apartment, but it's fine.
Know your dose. Regardless of your consumption method, Dr. Jordan Tischler, president and CEO of Inhale MD, agrees that
Where did he get his doctorate?
something high. Agrees that dose is necessary to nail.
That hit me late.
It was dumb. To nail down. The key is dose. If cannabis provokes discomfort or anxiety, the dose is simply too high.
Absolutely.
He says, echoing common complaints of people who have tried cannabis and decided it's not for them. It's not about. Also, if someone says cannabis is not for them, don't try to convince them it is.
No,
let
it
them
is.
Not.
Just keep trying it.
Just do more.
You gotta doing it wrong.
It's not about strains or CBD ratios. None of that has panned out in studies, Tischler says, who is also president of the Association of Cannabis Specialists and professor at Harvard Medical School.
Hello.
What?
Yeah.
Your cannabis specialist should be very specific about what to take and how much. Usually this is a slow ramp up, not only to get you used to the feeling, but also to let your body adjust, he says. Often people benefit from doses that are much smaller than they expect.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give you a warning, and you probably might cover this.
Yeah.
If you're doing edibles, they take longer to take effect.
Yes.
And people's instinct is to take more when they don't feel it.
I think I do get to that, but you're absolutely right.
My friend Eric him and his mom dabbled in making edibles at homemade, and they were going to start a business.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And he ended up eating a lot of those edibles one day, and then we went to trivia, and I had gotten high before we went to trivia, and he had gotten so high that he at one point started coughing really badly and almost dying, it seemed like.
Oh my God.
And I found it to be the funniest fucking thing I've ever seen.
No.
So I'm laughing my ass off, hiding my head in my hands because I'm laughing so hard. Meanwhile, he's over here choking to death. I don't even know.
Do you think he was having
what.
a panic attack?
I don't know what it was, but he was coughing really. I think maybe it was one of those things where you start laughing at something and then you go into a coughing fit.
Yeah.
But it was bad, and I'm in my mind. I'm like, Garen, there's something wrong with Eric, and I'm just laughing, and I couldn't get out of it. And my other friend Justin was there. I think he must have thought we were two lunatics because Eric was coughing his ass off. I was laughing mine off. He was so high that I had to drive us home back to my house, and then he passed out on my couch. So be careful with edibles is the moral of that.
Well,
story.
that's a good
to
note.
answer your question about people who are assholes when they're high, Garen just laughing at his friend and choking to death.
I could not
Nice.
get out of. I was stuck.
Garen wasn't high enough.
Doesn't that inhibit your ability to answer trivia questions if you're high?
I don't know.
You don't know? Well, how do you not know? Why are you high every time?
I don't remember.
He's high right now.
Oh, were you only high one time?
No, I've gone. It doesn't. No, it doesn't affect.
I would
not
think
me
it would-
personally.
I think it would-
I'm a computer of trivia.
Okay, I would think it would interfere with recall.
No.
Really? Okay.
No.
All right.
Well,
Maybe it loosens up the synapses.
Yeah, maybe.
did we win that night?
He can't remember.
You're all winners. Okay. Mind your set and setting. What? Chasen also stresses the importance of set and setting, which is a popular concept in psychedelic use. Make sure you are in a comfortable space with people you feel safe with. Sometimes people's adverse reactions to intoxicating substances can be triggered by happening outside their own bodies. Your first cannabis experience isn't the time to hang out with someone new for the first time. Stick with people you know and trust. Aim to be somewhere that feels safe and comfortable, whether that's your living room or favorite beach. Have a backup plan. Part of experimenting with intoxicating substances is learning limits, however uncomfortable that might get at times. If things get uncomfortable, mentally or physically, Tisha recommends an easy fix. The best advice, if you do get too much, is to relax with the support of your special people, watch some lighthearted TV, and go to sleep. You'll be fine in the morning,
Okay.
Tischler says. There are plenty of anecdotal remedies that people swear by, from chewing peppercorns to drinking lemon tea, but there isn't a ton of evidence behind them.
To stop being high?
Yeah. Be prepared for remedies to not work. Have a backup plan, whether it's
I'm
a
just
friend.
imagining being so high and
That
chewing
you're
peppercorns and it not working.
that you're opening up your grinder
Yes.
to smash it like a child's piggy bank.
Just a mouthful of
Get the-
peppercorns.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
Oh, God.
So maybe,
Also,
yeah.
having a plan is a lot to ask for people who are doing pot.
Well, this is beforehand. The
Yeah,
plan is
that's-
beforehand.
I don't know if you're going to remember you had that plan.
Well, if
just
it's your
a lot
first
to
time,
ask.
yeah, I guess so. But
I've got my
maybe I should-
peppercorns.
Yeah.
Okay. My friend.
Maybe I should start getting high, and then I'll feel like I have an excuse to watch Below Deck because I'm doing it to,
Be less high.
yeah, exactly, to relax.
There you go.
Ultimately, sorry, I think I was getting a scam.
You were.
Every time it's from 917, it's a scam, but this time it didn't say scam. But I don't.
They're just getting better
They're
at
getting better at
Yeah.
it. Yeah. Ultimately, Chasen notes there's still a lot of mystery around the mechanics of being high and being comfortable with it, and this isn't just specific to new users. I think people feel like they're losing themselves, she says, adding that it directly threatens their security and functionality, which directly challenges the ways we were taught to feel secure and in control. Exactly. And sometimes that loss of control doesn't feel good. Yes, too much THC may make you feel incredibly anxious and paranoid. It may lead you to believe, hey, this isn't for me. But also, if you're taught how to cope with that experience, if you were taught to be intentional about that consumption, you could find really valuable insights about yourself in that experience. And I just don't think that we are at all prepared to look that in the face, she says very matter-of-factly. I don't think we're prepared in the way that our culture raised us to look at our egos in the face and watch them die. She sounds hella high to me.
Yeah. I don't want to watch my ego die.
I don't either. That's not to say you need to go straight to ego death.
Okay, good.
But regardless, that was Fenn's band, right? Ego
Yes.
death? Yeah.
It might have been his opening band.
Yeah, right. But regardless of what happens, give yourself some space to reflect afterward. If it was a good experience, why? Did it unlock unexpected feelings or sensations? Did you find a new perspective? And if it wasn't so good, what felt uncomfortable?
The whole thing.
Did you feel physically sick? Did uncomfortable emotions come up? Any cannabis experience, good or bad, can be a learning opportunity. So I know why you do it, because of your pain, mostly. Why do you think you do it, Garen?
Ego. You like the ego death?
Yeah, my ego is sometimes just needs to be taken down a notch.
You brought an ego to a knife fight?
Yeah, 100%. It's just a good calming. It's a good way to just relax, and
Yeah.
it helps with depression. I know some people think it inhibits it. I think I've heard, but
You mean
it's-
it exacerbates it? You
yeah,
think? Oh, you
yes,
think it?
yes.
You think?
Yeah, because it's kind of a what's the depressant?
It's a depressant,
I guess.
yeah.
It's a depressant, but
I
you think
don't-
it
yeah, makes
helps
me-
depression.
Yeah.
All right. Are you ready for a silly story?
Yes, please.
Okay. So when I looked up, first time getting high stories, of course it took me to Reddit. So
Yay!
that's what this is from, and the author is Big Sexy One.
Oh,
Oh,
Okay.
famous big sexy one.
guessing he didn't have ego death.
It was my 16th birthday, and my good friend had promised to get me high for the first time. We all lived in the neighborhood that had a huge golf course on it. I remember I got off work and went over to my friend's house. It was around 9 o'clock and was starting to get dark. At the time, he lived with his mom, so we couldn't burn the trees there. Is that a thing? I've
Never heard that.
So we began to think about just where we could blaze up for the first time. Then my friend got the wild idea to go on the 8th hole and blaze up. It was me, my best friend, and another guy that had driven us to the golf course. We all got out of the car and started walking down the street to the number 8 hole. Out of nowhere, a cop comes flying down the street. My friends jumped into some bushes. They haven't gotten high yet. And took off running behind a house. And guess who had the weed and pipe on them? That's right, little old me. I continued to walk down the sidewalk we were on, legs shaking like a little kid. The cop slowed up as he passed me, and I waved at the officer. By this time, I was freaking out, thinking that I hadn't even smoked and was about to get busted. The cop slowed as he came up to me, looked me up and down, then sped off. I could feel a wave of amazement rush over me. Now back to the plan, man. Where did my friends go? I ran down the sidewalk towards the 8th hole, where my best friend popped his head out from behind a parked car. He said to me, "You still got it?" To which I replied with a smile and a handful of the goodies. So we made our way to the 8th fairway and sat down right by a tree. He packed up a huge bowl into an eagle talon claw bowl that was his dad's. Okay, so this is why I never go. What?
Oh my God, I need to see a photo. Garen, please pull it up.
See, this is why I never got into pot, because of this shit.
Because it was so cheesy?
Yes, because I don't want to be hanging out with people who've got an eagle talon claw bowl.
You were much cooler than I was. That was my group.
Mine goes in a bong, though. This sounds like something different. It just looks like it's got a claw holding it.
It's just so, why? Why this imagery
cool.
of, it doesn't look cool. I got news for you. It doesn't look cool. It's fucking horrible. All right. Can't we have something? Can't there be a tasteful bowl? Can't there be a minimalist?
Describe this.
Like a minimalist, sort of like white porcelain or something.
Like Frank Gehry designed it?
Yeah, just like a wood. Yeah.
Yeah, those exist. There's just like a plain bowl.
Exactly.
My favorite piece is Blue Willow.
You don't want a tiny wizard?
I really don't.
I have a Grogu that's got a
what is
pipe out of his head.
Wait, what is it? Who's Grogu? I'm
Baby
blanking.
Yoda.
Okay, right. Okay. Jesus Christ. You do?
Yeah, somebody gave it to me as a gift.
All right. I remember taking the first hit of weed and complaining about how much it hurt my throat. We sat there and smoked 3 bowls. That's a lot, right?
Yeah, they're high.
Until I was able to feel a little something. I didn't know what it was yet, but man, I was enjoying it. We sat and talked and smoked more and more. At one point, my best friend suggested that we were all baked enough and it was time to leave. For some reason, me and my best friend got up at the same time and took off running. It was at that point that me and my best friend transformed into dinosaurs. I didn't know what was going on other than that I had short, tiny dinosaur arms, and my best friend next to me was a raptor, and we were booking it across the golf course. Our other friend was far behind, trying to keep up with the 2 stone prehistoric beasts that we had just transcended into. Me and my dinosaur friend ran straight off the course back to our friend's car, where we had stored massive amounts of munchies. I remember waiting for our friend to arrive so we could finally enjoy the treasures within. When our other friend finally caught up and unlocked the car, he sternly told us, "No eating in my car, guys. I just cleaned it." Me and my raptor friend looked at each other and smiled. We hopped into his back seat and began consuming all the food we had. It was a hurricane of Doritos, ice cream sandwiches, and what I thought were dinosaur hands. I know, it doesn't make sense. Ice cream sandwiches would have melted. It doesn't make any sense. We ate like redneck princes. That's my favorite line.
Oh my God.
Downing Mountain Dew after Mountain Dew with huge handfuls of Doritos in between. I thought the car ride lasted 4 hours, but it literally was only 10 minutes before we were back at my friend's house. Me and my raptor friend ran into the house and headed straight to the basement. All the cool shit was down there. It was there that me and my dinosaur best friend spent the remainder of the night starting and finishing the first Gears of War. I guess, is that a video game?
Video game.
Okay.
Yeah.
That
the tracks.
Did you write this, Garen?
I can't say I've ever been dinosaur high. I'm ashamed to admit.
Then he says, "That, my ents," I don't know what that means. "That, my ents, gents," I don't know, was how my best friend got me high for the first time and turned us both into dinosaurs.
Hilarious. Garen, you got to ask for that strain next time you go to the dispensary.
I've seen videos of people who are spectacularly high doing whatever, and I'm like, I don't know that I've ever been that high.
Yeah.
Like, or have I? And I just don't.
Maybe it just affects people differently, man. That's so funny.
But
dinosaur
the
high.
research helped me, because whenever I see someone get high for the first time in a movie, I'm always like, that's not realistic, because you don't get high the first time. Because I thought it was everyone.
Oh, okay.
So now that I know you can get high the first time, I will be able to buy
more
into those.
open.
I'm more open to that scenario now.
I mean, they're also kids smoking 3 bowls of, like, I don't even go through a bowl myself.
Yeah.
It's absolutely ridiculous.
That was great.
Yeah, I thought that was fun.
So fun.
Okay, and we will be back right after this.
I can't wait.
Imagine the softest sheets you've ever felt. Now imagine them getting even softer over time. That's what you'll feel with Boll & Branch's best-selling signature sheets in 100% organic cotton. In a recent customer survey, 96% replied that Boll & Branch sheets get softer with every wash. Start getting your best night's sleep in sheets that get softer and softer for years to come. Try their sheets with a 30-night guarantee. Plus, get 15% off with your first order at bollandbranch.com, code WONDERY15. Exclusions apply. See site for details.
Canva presents a work love story like no other. Meet Productivity. She's all business.
The Canva doc is done.
Creativity is more of a free thinker.
Whiteboard brainstorm.
They're worlds apart, but sometimes opposites attract. Thanks to Canva.
The data is in the deck.
And now it's an animated graph.
Canva, where productivity meets creativity. Now showing on computer screens everywhere. Love your work at canva.com.
Welcome back.
Hey.
Christine, did you have a good break?
Yeah.
Yeah, what? I don't know what that means. It's so loaded.
I know. I checked my phone. My husband sent me a few videos of our cat because he went and picked up our cat from the... Oh, I shouldn't say what it's called.
Why not? Because now people know where Dave Grohl's cats stay?
Now
I think that's okay.
2 celebrity cats, because I'm going to include mine, now stay there, and they could be targeted for, like celebrity cats could get kidnapped.
Do you think it's like, right,
for ransoms?
Wait, they did that to Lady Gaga.
Right, exactly.
They kidnapped her dogs, right?
Yeah, we'll just bleep that. Garen can put in like bleep, bleep, bleep over the name.
Do you think that now that Mandy has stayed with celebrities, he's going to be like, well, where's my TV? Where's my, where's my limo driver?
Vegan.
Yeah.
Raw food diet.
Exactly.
He's probably going to come home and shit right in the middle of our bed.
Yeah,
that's what cats do when they're mad.
Well, that's what pets of rock stars do.
Yeah, and sometimes rock stars do it.
And rock stars,
right in the bed.
On our first half of the show, we talked about how to survive getting high for the first time. And now we're going to survive the first year of high school.
Oh, I see what you did
there with Jamie Kaler.
Hi, Jamie.
Oh, hi, guys.
Jamie.
Thanks. I missed the high story. I would have really enjoyed how to survive the first time getting high, because that's tricky.
So what our viewers don't know, they don't know they're viewers because they don't have anything to watch.
Is there something you want to tell us? Are we being filmed right now?
we've been secretly filming this show.
Oh, my God.
It's like a Big Brother situation.
Oh, my God. I wish I would have known.
Yeah. What our listeners don't know is that we've been trying to get Jamie on since, I don't know, month 1.
Yeah.
And something has come up every time. I think this is probably the 5th booking.
One was you guys, though.
One was us because you had COVID.
You had COVID. And I appreciated the honesty, by the way.
But the funny thing is that the reason why Jamie's had to cancel is because he keeps booking work, which is awesome. And so yesterday I emailed Jamie to confirm, and I said, we'll see you tomorrow. And you said...
I actually booked it. But here's what's funny. It's not like I'm working all the time. I'm barely working, but it seems to coincide. So I've talked to Danielle about being booked every week. You're going to book me every week just so I can get a job. But I booked I'm the voice of National Lampoon streaming service.
Oh, great.
Which has been a fantastic gig.
Oh,
and
how awesome.
So I was supposed to record today, right now, and they were like, but it's, I've been doing it for a while, so they're like, all right, we'll move it to Wednesday. So they moved it to
so nice. Thank you.
I have to be like, vacation coming up next. Blah, blah, blah,
so that's what it is you're introducing.
I'm the voice. And so they every month on their streaming service, they have whatever the movies are. And coming up this weekend, it's a Chevy Chase.
Oh, gotcha. Oh, how fun.
Yeah, super
that's
fun.
A great gig.
Great gig. Yeah.
So Jamie is a comic and an actor, and you are about to film a new special.
I am.
For Dry Bar.
I'm doing Dry Bar comedy.
So Dry Bar is clean.
Squeaky clean. It's huge online.
Yeah.
I've done a couple albums before, and the great thing about Dry Bar is it doesn't have to be original hour. They don't own the material. So you can cherry pick your greatest hits.
Oh, okay.
Squeaky clean.
Yeah.
You can't even go, oh, God.
Oh, wow.
You can't even say, gee, like it has to be squeaky, and it can't be too provocative.
Yeah.
But basically, I'm a super old dude with young kids, so my whole hour is
perfect.
Having kids at my age is like getting a DUI just as you pull into your driveway. Like it's just
right,
off and running.
Right,
so it's pretty clean. Both of my albums are pretty clean.
Yeah, your albums are
They play
Homeschooled?
more. Homeschooled and Happy Father
Father's
Days, and they play on Sirius XM all the time.
Oh, that's great.
You know, when they're clean, you get played a little bit more.
Yeah,
And you make a little more money.
Yeah. Well, let that be a lesson to you motherfuckers.
Yeah. So cut
God damn it.
Cut the shit.
Fuck.
Dropping shit bombs with your cat story.
Okay, so your freshman year of high school.
New Hampshire.
Now, in your day, because it's different depending on where you went to school and when, is that 9th grade or 10th grade?
9th.
Okay.
Yeah. Manchester Central High School in Manchester, New Hampshire. And I was being bussed in from it was the biggest school in the state.
Okay.
By a long shot. 2,500 kids in
Whoa.
high school.
Yeah, that's a lot.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I was from Hooksett, and Hooksett had 2 grammar schools, 1 junior high school, where I was the king. Like, it was a tiny,
Okay.
we knew everybody. I played every sport.
All right.
I was vice president. I was like, rock and roll. And then high school, they go, you're going to Manchester, New Hampshire. And I'd have to get on a bus down the end of my street and drive 45 minutes to get into Manchester, New Hampshire.
So wait, was it a better school?
No, Hooksett had no high school. Neither did Candia. Neither did all these other towns around.
Okay.
Had
Is
no,
that legal?
Seems illegal to me.
I
but
thought you
know.
had to have that's crazy. So this was your local school? It was 45 minutes away?
Yeah, and that was the public.
Okay.
I think I even wanted to go to Trinity, but my dad didn't want to pay the tuition of like $600. I'm not joking. I think it was $600.
Wow.
And because they had a really good soccer team, and I wanted to go play there, but I ended up going to Manchester Central, and so I got bussed in. And out of our junior high school, some people got bussed. There were 4 high schools in Manchester, and we all got broken up, depending on which side of the river you lived on.
Okay.
It was the 1840s. And, what I'm telling you.
It took 45 minutes because you were going in horse and buggy.
Yeah, I
right?
sled dog in the winter months. It was pretty painful. And so I got bussed into Manchester. I had to get in this bus with all the people from, the handful of people, and then I would be bussed in. But I got into this huge class of I think there was 700 or 800 when we started, and I knew maybe a handful from my school.
Yeah.
And these kids had all grown up together in Manchester. They were as a clique.
Yeah, they're tight.
That's hard.
They were tight. And I was like, I had ginger hair, and I was gangly. I don't think I shaved till college.
Really?
Yeah. I was kind of tall and gangly, I guess, but I was, and so of course, day 1 or 2, some older dude who was not having the greatest life, apparently, decided to pick me out and just bullied me senseless from my freshman year. Yeah, it was terrible.
And so, what was the center of it that you were a redhead?
Yeah.
Oh.
I didn't know that for a long time. I still, honestly, to this day, don't really know his name. He was 16, and I remember finally my mother went to the school and was like, what? Nowadays, she would have been there minute 1.
Right.
Yeah.
I talk to my kids about this all the time because I've even had other moms text me and say, "Oh, Hannah said something to my daughter and bullied her." I wanted to go, "That's not fucking bullying."
Right.
Bullying is when you get hit in the face. That's how bullying is.
Yeah.
If you can't verbally banter with my kid, then I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
My kid comes home and she gets, she's a ginger. She gets it just as bad as she gives it. And I'm like, these kids are so soft about.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
So how did the bullying? What was the? Were you getting beaten up all the time?
He was chasing me around the school.
Chasing you.
I would look up from my class through the glass window of the door, and he'd be sitting outside waiting for me.
Oh my God.
It was 3 o'clock high, where you're like,
Yeah.
this is terrifying. And I was really fast. I mean, he was pretty heavy, and so I was faster than him for sure, which I tested on a daily basis. I bob and weave. And I never, I'm the youngest of 6. I have 4 older sisters. I grew up a mama's boy. I was not a fighter. I don't think I'd ever been in a fight in my life. And all of a sudden this dude is like, we're fighting. I go, no, we're not fighting. And I'll show you how fast I am. And I would run around. But he would, corner me and chase me, and it was crazy. And finally my mother went to the school. This was after months, and I was like, I don't want to go to school. I was really
Well, of course not.
No.
I mean,
And
he's waiting around every corner, ready to beat you up.
And then nowadays, that kid would be plucked out or whatever.
Yeah.
But my mother finally went and saw the principal, and the principal said, I did speak to the kid, and he doesn't like your son because he has red hair.
Ma'am, I tend to agree with him.
And, there's a reason Toreadors use a red cape. There's a reason the center of the dartboard is red. It draws your ire in some way that is apparently, which is funny, too, because my kids get picked out. But I think on women, it's way more beautiful. But on redheaded dudes...
Yeah, you're more blondish now.
No, it's called gray. I'm salt and ketchup, but yes.
But why does it look blonde? It doesn't even look gray.
It's not. I know. That's
but when I first met you, it was red.
It was pretty red,
yeah.
and my beard was bright red.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was the principal's explanation, and that was supposed to suffice.
And my mother was like, "Can't you,
suspend him? Yeah.
Suspend him?" And he goes, "He doesn't really go to school here."
What?
He's
auditing.
He's actually an adult man.
He was working on his doctoral thesis on bullying, and it was a solo project he had going. I still, to this day, I don't even know the dude's name. He was big, though, and he was a couple years older than me, and he was really, the guy said he was basically dropping out. He wasn't going to any classes.
Okay.
But there weren't metal detectors back then. There wasn't a fence around the school. Any human being could walk into a school.
Right. Yes.
And the side, not even through the front. You could just go into doors.
Right.
Doors are open back then.
Yeah,
Nowadays, you can't get near a school without an alert going off somewhere. Right. And this dude was just. It was like he got up at home, made a lunch, and his mom was like, "All right, good luck bullying today." And he's like, "All right, I'll see you. I'll see you." And he goes, "I got a busy day. I know his first class is at 8 a.m. I got to be there waiting when he gets out." Like he was tormenting me.
So he was going to drop out, but a redhead showed up at school, and he's like, "You know what? I'm going to give it another semester." Yeah.
Honestly, if you talk to him, I've never had a conversation with him.
So did he ever catch you?
He never caught me clean.
Okay. What does that mean?
Glancing, blows, a kick as I ran by.
Oh, okay.
Like
he never really got.
He hit me the first time, and then I go, "Oh, this is our relationship." Okay. And then I tried to dodge him the best I could, but I was super depressed, and I didn't want to go to school, and it was mental. And finally, he trapped me one time in the locker room, only one exit out of the locker room, and I'm like, why wouldn't they put a back door to a locker room?
Yeah.
Like, why you'd think there'd be an emergency exit for a fire,
right?
But there was one way in and out, and the gym teacher was in there, and the gym teacher was just pleading with me to stand up to him. He says, "You got to fight. You're going to have to fight this kid." And I said, he outweighs me by like 60 pounds.
Right.
I don't really want to fight this kid. And he taught the teacher, who was actually a Facebook friend, Mr. Tibbetts, Mr. T, who was like the jokester gym teacher. "Hey, come on." He goes, "Here's what you do. You go stand out there, and before he can even think, you punch him right in the throat." And I go, "Can't you kill a guy like that?" he goes, "Well, he's trying to kill you, isn't he?" And then I was like, I go, is he trying to? I don't even know this dude. Like, is this guy trying to kill me?
I've got no beef with this guy.
I don't even know this guy. Why is he tormenting me?
You don't even know his name.
He fucking tormented me.
Oh my God.
And it went on for basically the freshman year. And then I dodged him. He got a couple kicks in, like in my back as I was running by. And eventually it just went away. But it was months, and it scarred me. I'm sure it's why I'm a comic.
Right.
I'm sure it's why I'm as damaged as I am. Like, it fucked me up.
Do you think it's why you joined the Navy?
No, I joined the Navy because it was the only way I was going to. I wanted to go to UNH, get high, and play soccer. And my father's like, "We don't have any money.
Right.
I've had 6 kids. I've sold cars your whole life. You're lucky you're wearing shoes."
Okay.
And he goes, "We don't have any money." But my brother was big in the Navy, and he had gotten a ROTC scholarship to go to Notre Dame. So I applied for the scholarship and got a full boat to go to BU.
Oh, nice.
But I had to serve time after. So that was why I did it basically for college.
Okay.
Even my roommates didn't know. It was crazy. They didn't know I was in the Navy. Like,
they didn't?
In college, I was with my roommates for like the first few months, and then Thursday mornings we'd have to be in our uniforms and like, go march in the pavilion or whatever. And I was walking back, and my roommate walked right by me, and I was like, "John," he goes, "Jamie, what are you dressed up for?" I go, "Dude, I'm ROTC." He goes, "What? What are you talking about?" And like nobody knew. So then I almost got kicked out of that too, but it ended up okay. Like the guy
'Cause you're a
liked me.
redhead.
Basically because I was a redhead. He goes, hey,
Not in
there's
this
no
army.
gingers in the military, brother.
This is the American Navy.
But long story short, so I end up going to college and I play soccer and I grow and I'm pretty muscular and I'm a big dude. I'm like 6'1", and I hadn't seen that guy in years and years and years. And I go back, it's like the summer after my sophomore year. And,
college.
I had dreamed of killing this guy.
Wow.
We all, right? Like I had put together, you can't help it. You start thinking of master plans like I'm gonna kill him, I'm gonna cut him up, I'm gonna bury him in the fucking woods. I am gonna fuck this guy up.
Hit him in the throat.
I'm gonna punch him right in the throat. Watch as he just stops.
Well, no, wait. I don't want to get you off your thing, but I just want to. You said it, so it stopped. Did it stop because he left the school?
Yeah, I think he aged out. It was like Logan's Run, and he went to Carousel. He went to high school Carousel.
Because he was actually 30.
He was 30 years old. It was the craziest thing. He was 30 years old. So I go back, and I'm driving through Manchester, and I kind of, you have that blackout where you just kind of put it out of your mind, and it stops affecting you. And by college, I kind of found myself, and I was a little more comfortable and a little more physical. And I saw him at a gas station in Manchester, New Hampshire. He was huge, very big, because he was fat, or he was like one of those big fat guys.
Yeah.
Or whatever. And I parked, and I was like shaking. You're like, all of a sudden, I'll start to come back, and I'm sitting there shaking, and I'm like, I'm going to fucking kill this guy. I'm going to get out of this car. I'm going to beat this guy within an inch of his life. I'm gonna fucking kill him. And then it takes me a second, and I'm watching, and I'm like, I'm so nervous and shaking, and then I see he's working at the gas station back in the day when you pumped gas.
Right.
And it was cold. It wasn't summer. It was like, might have been fall. It might have been something, but it was kind of a shitty day, and he was in the rain pumping other people's gas. And I don't know, I had this weird case of empathy. And I just felt, and I had grown up and read enough and been like, it's obvious that guy's life must have been shitty. Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
And so I didn't get out of the car. I didn't even talk to him. I just sat and watched him work for a while. And then I just felt this weird thing of it's not his fault.
Yeah. Right.
He's that kid who's put in that position that if anybody, I wanted to go beat the fuck out of his parents. Yeah. And be like, what did you do to this kid?
Exactly.
That this kid felt like it was his mission to torture me. So, I don't know. It was a good lesson. I kind of shared that with my kids too about bullying and inclusion and stuff, because nowadays it's so prevalent on social media and stuff you're sitting there trying to, it hurt my kids when they feel pain. It hurts worse than when I feel pain. Don't you feel that? They're like extensions of your nervous system.
Yes.
Oh, it's awful.
And I remember Hannah being bullied early on, and because she was very unique looking. She's a big round face, she had thin eyes with bright red hair, and kids would and I just was like, I'm gonna beat the shit out of that kid.
Yeah.
And it's weird though.
That's it's so poetic that you would see him, and
I know,
and it would sort of change you, and that's amazing. Did you ever consider, I don't want to blame the victim, did you ever consider maybe dyeing your hair?
Yes, many, 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 many times. Even in this business, I never was the groom. I was groomsman 1.
Right.
And the black guy was groomsman 2. Right. Or the black guy was groomsman 1, and I was groomsman 2.
Right.
I was never the groom.
Right, because of the red hair?
I've done 20 commercials where I was a groomsman in a wedding party. I've never
Are you serious?
Oh, easily.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Redheads don't get married.
Redheads. You know what's funny? Back in the day, in black and white, a lot of stars were redheads. Jimmy Cagney was a redhead. There was a lot of redheads, yeah. And because on black and white, we look great. The contrast of the white skin with the red hair pops. But
I
in
like
color,
that you've really done a deep dive on your culture.
My mother will send me articles. Ben Franklin, George Washington was a redhead.
Really?
Oh my God! It's a recessive gene too. I used to do a whole bit about it. I act about how it's going to be bred out. And yeah.
Well, I've seen pictures of your girls, and they are just gorgeous, and I mean bright orange hair.
Oh, bright
so
orange
cute.
hair. Bright orange hair. Yeah.
So cute.
Yeah.
Does she want to go into comedy?
They say that sometimes they do, but they don't show the work ethic. They've had a handful of auditions, and she's thinks she's Bruce Willis. She does one take, and she's like, "Got it. I'm on my way home." And you're like, "We haven't. You have to do this again." And so she has no work ethic in that way, but she's naturally funny.
But they've actually worked.
Hannah did. She did. I do Tacoma FD. I do all 4 seasons on Tacoma FD. I play the chief of police, and
wow.
Lemmy, it's all the Super Trooper guys.
Yeah.
And he texted me one day, and he's like, "Can Hannah act?" I go, "I don't know, I guess." And so he had a line, and it's so bad. It made me laugh so hard, but it's filthy. They're having the church people in the show are burning porn, a giant pile of porn. As like a show of force for the religious right, and a giant wind comes and it blows all the burning porn to the playground. And these kids, Lemmy's son, Steve Lemmy's kid, picks up one of the magazines and goes, boobies. And they needed a little girl to open a magazine and go, look, dick.
Perfect.
And so he goes, tape her. And she was like 9 at the time, and she really didn't know what she was saying. And so I had to explain to her that there was a very famous president, Dick Nixon, in the 70s, and you're a huge fan of his. And so
my God.
I have it somewhere. It's on video. And she opens this magazine, and she thinks she's looking at Richard Nixon. And she goes, "Oh, I love Dick."
Oh no!
And so he puts her in the show.
Oh my God.
And we're at Catholic school, by the way.
Right.
And so it's aired. It's out there. And I just was always like, when she's 30, if she is like an actress and she's on The Tonight Show,
this is
it's
gonna be
going
genius.
to explode.
That's how you should raise your children. Making moments for them that will be good couch banter.
Yes.
Right?
I hadn't thought about that story until, and it's funny, since you called me and said, what would you have survived? And I said freshman year. I ended up writing it out into a long short story.
Oh, nice.
About,
that's great.
that. So people can find that on my website,
Great.
JamieKaler.com.
Well, Jamie, thank you so much for
Yes.
I'm so excited you finally got to come,
I
and it was
know.
such a good story.
Thank you.
We'll keep inviting you back so you keep getting gigs.
Please, for the love of God, Daddy needs
Well, thank you again.
Yeah.
Thank you so,
Great
so
story.
much.
super fun.
And we will be right back with What Did We Learn Today?
This episode is sponsored by AutoTrader. There's a good chance you're driving right now. Look around. Safely. What do you see? Cars. Lots of them. And guess what? They're probably on AutoTrader. Whether you're into timeless classics or the latest trends. Did somebody say solar-powered, eco-friendly, vegan, leather-wrapped, aromatherapy-scented, disco ball-equipped self-driving car? If you see it on the road, you can likely find it on AutoTrader. Big cars, small cars, blue cars, new cars, used cars, electric cars, and one day, maybe even flying cars. With millions to choose from, buying a car becomes a whole lot easier. See it, find it, AutoTrader. Find your next car on autotrader.com.
This podcast is brought to you by eHarmony, the dating app to find someone you can be yourself with. Why doesn't eHarmony allow copy and paste in first messages? Because you are unique, and your conversations should reflect that. eHarmony wants you to find someone who will get you. How are you going to know who gets you if people send you the same generic conversation starters they message everyone else? Conversations that actually help you get to know each other. Imagine that. Get who gets you on eHarmony. Sign up today.
Christine.
Yes, Danielle.
Are you ready to learn what we learned today?
I can't wait.
It is legal for adults 21 and older to possess up to 3 ounces of cannabis and up to 24 grams of concentrated cannabis outside your home for personal use in New York. Oh, you are allowed to store up to 5 pounds of cannabis in your home. Okay, so some states are coming on board, some have not yet. Flavonoids are various compounds found naturally in many fruits and vegetables. They're also in plant products like wine, tea, and chocolate. There are 6 different types of flavonoids found in food, and each kind is broken down by your body in a different way. So this just made me think of this, and I know this is not an original thought. I know everyone thinks that. Like, oh, what made man think they could eat, pineapples? Or
Yes.
right. But have you ever seen cocoa beans? Have you ever
Yes.
seen the process?
I don't know if I've seen the process.
It's just, how would you ever look at that and think, if I add sugar to this, it's just bizarre. It's just this white, weird stuff.
Yeah.
Go watch a video on cocoa beans.
I'd love
It's pretty
to.
fascinating.
It's
I
like
will.
vanilla too, where they just scrape it out
Yeah,
of the middle of a branch.
I
or
know,
whatever
right,
you do. I'm
exactly.
Like, how did
How?
you think of this?
Like, how do they
Meanwhile,
figure that out? It's amazing.
Alicia Silverstone's walking down the streets of London eating belladonna.
Oh,
like it's,
God,
Like
Alicia.
it's nothing. Like, I don't know what this is. I found it and I decided to take a bite out of it. Everyone's like, this is poison.
Yeah.
Yes.
Are you alive? No one knows if she's dead or alive at this point. She hasn't posted since, I don't think.
Is that true?
She's
probably
fine.
must have. This
I'm
has
sure
been a
she's
couple
fine.
weeks.
Well,
but-
remember, she's the one who chewed up her food and fed it to her baby that way.
She's. Why didn't Hollywood just hire her a few more times? I'm sure we wouldn't be dealing with this if she had just gotten more work.
Yes, right?
Yeah. Terpenes are aromatic compounds found in many plants, though many people commonly associate them with cannabis because cannabis plants contain high concentrations of them. These aromatic compounds create the characteristic scent of many plants, such as cannabis, pine, and lavender, as well as fresh orange peel. Well, I like the smell of all those things except for cannabis.
I just remembered the first time that my ex got high. He told me he was time traveling.
No.
What?
Yeah, like he would experience something happening, and then it would happen. Like everything would happen after he had already.
So he thought he went back like a few seconds, and then
he was bouncing back.
Hilarious.
In time.
Jesus, and that is from pot.
Yes.
Wow.
Thanks for listening.
Yeah.
Don't forget to check out our new merch.
Yes.
And until next time,
Remain calm.